was coming anyway.
The whole time.
But why would I put it on TV if I didn't know that? Like, they not gonna see it, or they family not gonna see it. You know, like,
right.
So it's like, it's gonna go down. Here's the deal. One of the biggest things I regret in life, I say that, you know, I have like 5 things, but 2 of the biggest things is when that record hit, I didn't buy my moms and pops and get them right first. I got me right first. I'll always regret that. Always. To the day I die. My father died before I could buy him the car he wanted.
Right.
That's 1. 2 is bringing Tara on Love and Hip Hop and not telling her I was married. To this day is unacceptable.
Slow up. Slow up.
Yeah.
Slow down, because you hit me hard right there.
Yeah.
Both statements.
Yeah, you hit
Both
me
statements.
Because I felt you.
It almost makes me cry, bro.
Yeah, well, we don't want to do that.
Nah, I'm not going to do it. But
because here's the thing. You don't let one go, let it go. It's all right.
Yeah.
You hit me with that one. You know? Because as an artist, you want to do so much.
Yeah.
Right? I know what it feel like. You want to take care of everybody, because we sit back and we have those dreams. And we're like, yo, when I get on, everybody good. Right. And then when we get on, things are happening so fast, we not always making the right decisions. We're not always making the right choices. And then sometimes we just can't.
Right.
It may look better than what it actually is on the inside.
Right.
So I understand that. I understand that deep.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the thing about Tara, you was with she was your kid's mother.
Yeah.
But you was already married?
No, I got married while we was together.
Hold on. Slow down. Wait, so none of that crossed your mind when you came on the show? Like, I just feel like you knew that she didn't know.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Wait,
Okay.
you got married while y'all were together.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So
I think I might try that.
No. So let's put it in perspective now. I guess it's you know, so it's they say you get in trouble, but I'm okay and do it. Amina's from Germany.
Right.
She was over here. If you could just
Black
read
Buster.
between
I
the lines.
got you.
So I'm working with her on music and stuff, and she, you know, hey, maybe if I could be here, and we messing around.
Right.
Nobody gotta know. When I do Love and Hip Hop, I tell them. I don't want to put nobody's name out there because I don't want to, you know, go through the whole whatever. Listen, I'm gonna give y'all something straight up. I did this for certain reasons, and it can't come out because it'll make me look crazy and it make.
Mm-hmm.
The first day we shot, they took our phones. I told Amina for 2 months straight, don't say nothing. Somebody will whisper in her ear, Peter says, all right, let it go. And she tell Rich, that's my husband. We married.
Oh, wow.
That's how it came out to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so once it came out, it's there now. But you can't go back and be like, oh, I just did that.
Right.
Now you in.
Right.
Then when shit. And now that's not. You know, I don't wanna degrade Amina either.
Right.
Right.
It's crazy about Amina. We was dope. We was meshing on some musician shit.
Right.
She played the piano, I'm on guitar. Played piano. She went to be writing songs every day, doing things, and we just it meshed. Everyday life at home wasn't right. I wasn't bringing in no money. Top was doing all the work. I didn't feel like. At home, I was just that. Felt like a deadbeat. With Amina, I felt like a star again. Like,
really?
You know, yeah, at that time.
At that time.
But real man, shit
This
was
is
like
off
home.
camera.
Yeah.
No, this is real life. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but when the cameras came on, they was catching. The thing about my story, you watch the show, that's why a lot of people, that's trash, it's not real. My story, what you saw is what it was. They added a few little bells and whistles, but for the most part, what you saw is what it was, and that's why most people either hated me, hated my story, whatever, because it was real, you felt it.
But in real life, you could have let Tara in on it before she found out on him.
You know what was crazy? Yeah, I should have, but imagine this. Hey, before we do
real quick.
She ain't gonna walk in the park. She would stab me. You know, because I remember she found out and hit Amina, and they called me.
She found out.
You thought she
Amina
wasn't
told her. No, so I knew she would find out, but I'm like, you know how you prep me? I gotta tell her shit for this happened.
Right.
The show got to that story before I could, and they were happy because what you saw was.
You should have got to the story before the show.
I know, but I. It's
I'm feeling.
But that's neither here nor there.
I was a coward. I was scared, and honestly speaking, that's why I tell you to this day, it's probably the biggest thing it's one of the biggest things I regret in life, because just if you reverse it, somebody had done that to my sister, my daughter. Tara's father don't speak to me to this day.
Yeah, that's your real life.
Her mom's is cool and the brothers is cool because they like, it happens, I've done shit. But the pops is like, fuck you.
That's my daughter.
You know what I mean? And I understand it.
Yeah.
It was mine. You know what I mean? That's why when my oldest daughter come to me and want me to talk to her boyfriend, he's doing. I'm like, nigga gonna be like, what? You?
What's your son?
Capricorn.
Oh, me too.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's just all type of, but it's real life, and that's why people were able to.
But all that kind of became like your brand. Then you got on Cheaters as the host.
So
Yeah.
hold up, before that, we be speaking too fast, right?
There's highs and lows all the time, like especially trying to transition, like we talked about, in different spaces of my career, whether it's acting. It's like, oh, she's a TV host or a radio personality. She can't be an actor. And then you do that and it's producing. Well, what does she know about producing? It's just always something, and just getting out of your own way and blocking out the background noise. Because you're always going to find people to tell you that it can't be done. Mm-hmm. You're always going to find people to tell you that it can't be done. So just blocking all that out and being so focused and passionate about what I'm doing that I don't let any of that get in my way.
You're just like, I'm never going back to that moment again. Like,
I have moments all the time. I'm human, where low days, I'm coming out of a divorce. So that's been a new space for me.
How was that?
It was difficult. I feel like I'm in the groove now, but it was difficult because when you spend so much of your life with someone and then you have to readjust to not having that person in your life in that capacity. We have a child. We're always going to be in each other's lives. And it's like life just changes. But yeah, I feel like I'm finding my footing in that too.
Was that hard for your son to adjust to the new things?
Yeah, it was definitely hard for him in the beginning, but we love him. We communicate with him. We get along great. So my thing is, we're an example to him. If he sees craziness and chaos, then that's what he's going to think, oh, this is what happens when parents aren't together anymore. If he sees, we were just at his basketball game together yesterday.
Cool.
So it was like, if that's what he continuously sees, then he could be like, my parents still get along.
Dope. We live in a, I'm sorry.
no, you're good.
No, you want
We have to talk all the time.
Okay, that's your question.
Well, it was an easy question. Don't worry, it's quick. Do you feel like Kanan gets like pressure from trying to pursue basketball and being Carmelo Anthony's son?
He does. He gets pressure, but I tell him, this is your journey. Like, you have to make it yours. And at any point, if my son was to come to me and say, Mom, I don't want to do this anymore, then he doesn't have to do it. But he's great at handling the pressure, but it's definitely there. And I see it more now that he's getting older. Like, it's coming down really hard on him. The comparisons or the taunting on the court, or what, you'd be surprised what parents say to him. Like, we always get into it at basketball.
I was about to say, how does that work?
Tell me a story about you being at a basketball game.
Okay, it just happened recently, I could tell you. So
what happened?
I was in Queens, and he was on a outside court. I can't think of what the court was, but it's a famous court in Queens, outside. And my son's team ended up losing. And then I hear the coach on the other team, he like starts screaming at the top of his lungs. He's like, Melo's son, his son, him. And I'm looking like, yo, I lost it. I went crazy on him. But I'm just, I go nuts. I go crazy. I went nuts. But he's 15 years old. You're a grown-ass man. And it's like, whatever feelings you have, the competitiveness, you're saying Melo's son, and he's right there because you're so happy that you beat him. Like, you're so happy about that. So it's stuff like that. Or parents just say crazy stuff. These basketball games, I don't know if people really understand how crazy it gets.
So they looking at you like,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
My mom said, you call the cops on me, I hope they get here before I break your back. That's how my mom was. She had 4 boys. And where I come from, Tompkins, Bed-Stuy.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
gotta be tough.
That's right.
They be smacking you in the back of the neck when you go to the store and all that.
Yeah.
I'm not having it.
Yeah.
I'm not having it. I'm not having that. And my oldest brother, you wanna know how I got funny? My oldest brother, 2 years older than me, he was born with cerebral palsy. Kids in the school, kids in the school can be mean sometimes.
Right.
You go get your big brother, he come back with you. Now you got him up. And you turn into a little cripple walk. You fucking it up.
Right.
Couldn't do that. My brother's crippled. Here come my brother all crippled. Where the you been? The fight is over. That's neither here nor there.
Well, might as well be funny then.
So I had to be funny to keep the bullies off my ass, man.
That's neither
That's neither here nor there.
Yo.
You know who allows me to be triple and all of that?
Yeah.
My brother.
He allowed you to.
He allowed me. He gave me permission.
What'd he say?
So I don't give a fuck what nobody else say.
What'd he say, Trey?
He said, you could do it. You make me laugh. I love it. I'd seen my brother walk that way and be that way my whole life. So he gave me permission. I had to get it from him.
So all your comedy came from a real place.
It all comes from a real place. If you look at the last OG, it's my life. I didn't do 15 years, but I know somebody who did. You come from the projects, man. I come from the judge. Me and you both come from Bed-Stuy. Back in the days, you go down to the Albee Square Mall if you want to.
Yeah.
K-Sun and Glazing on them. Now, I'm not going down there. I'm in and out. I'm going to get my baby blue valleys, and I'm gone.
Wow.
Simple and plain, man. I've been through a lot, man. I had my fledgling attempt at being a stick-up kid. That didn't work.
How that went?
Took the gun from me.
What? Wait.
Beat me up with the gun.
You're like, well, that's enough of that.
Hold on, no. We gonna pause on that. Hold on. So you stuck somebody up and they took the gun.
I thought I did.
You tried to.
I tried to.
I thought
I was trying to be tough on my girlfriend.
And that was the one time.
She wanted some door knockers.
So you decided to stick somebody up.
Yeah,
So,
I thought I did. I had no money to get him to go buy him.
And he took the gun from you.
So he took the gun.
He ain't take no gun.
You just made the story up?
Nah.
He ain't take no gun. My cousin did the sticking him. I was standing watching. Marcy and Myrtle, right? The G train. I was just standing.
Marcy and Myrtle.
Then my cousin took off running. I was just walking behind him, looking.
That's right by the.
By Marcy.
Yeah.
No, I know where he said
Marcy Projects, definitely.
That's right
G
there.
train.
Yes.
The G train.
You got a problem? I know where it's at.
I know I got jumped though.
You got jumped.
Yeah, but wasn't that the Transformers, the Decepticons?
Decepticons.
Yeah, they caught me for my bubble goose.
Where?
Right, a horn, skimmer horn. Remember I had the bubble goose, the red black one, and dude bust me open and one of my arms and all the feathers came out. And I went to school the next day. One arm was flat and this one was still flat. Electrical grade tape on my back. Electrical grade tape on my back.
Not the electrical.
What high school you went to?
I went to D with Clinton in the Bronx.
Oh.
Yeah, I ran away from home young. I went to live with my pops.
Your pops lived in the Bronx?
Yeah, that was my father. I wanted to be with my father. You know, I swam around in his nuts. So I wanted to go see my pop.
Makes sense.
I swam around in his nuts.
So let me go chill with my
That was
dad.
daddy. That was my daddy. When I got up there, he put me in D with Clinton. That's when I met Torn.
Wow.
He was chilling. I used to sell lunch tickets.
Wow.
I worked at Yankee Stadium too, the old one. I scalped tickets, sold souvenirs, sold pretzels, and sold cocaine.
You was a
all at
hustler.
the same time?
You was
At the same
With
time.
the same cart?
I was getting money.
With the same cart?
Yes, with the same cart. That's when grams was 21 a gram. But I'm getting 45 for mine, regardless how it go down.
You remember your pitch?
Yeah. Souvenirs here, check them out. You want it, I got it. If I ain't got it, I'm gonna get it while the getting's good. Get it?
That was it.
That was my pitch. That was my pitch.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did you write your jokes on Martin?
Did I write my jokes?
Like,
nah.
They just came?
They would write stuff. It was on a sheet. They would write on your script, and I put on my own stuff. That was all Tracy Morgan. That was all improv. When I did, that was me.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why everybody's laughing. And I would make Martin Lawrence laugh.
Uh-huh.
I would make him crack up in the scene. That's why I love Martin. I was just talking to Martin recently. He loved me. I love Martin. Martin is like my dad, man. I love Martin, man. He put me on.
So you attribute Martin as the person who actually put you on?
Big cause. And Eddie. Eddie, when I seen Eddie the first time,
you was in
Saturday Night Live in the 80s.
Saturday Night Live.
No. Can we talk about Raising Kanan?
Let's talk about
I want to talk about Raising Kanan.
Raising Kanan.
You are so in love with Raising Kanan.
I missed the last episode. Like, I ain't even know it came out.
It's out.
No, I was
No,
actually so
I was
interested
looking-
to see him in real life because it's like you're really like a method. You had to get skinny for that, and you had to.
Yeah,
I was
I
just
did.
like, how does he look in real life?
Because he had well, my character had in the first season he had cancer,
Right.
so I just had to you got to do what you got, and just shout out to the whole squad. Lionsgate stars, Courtney Kent, 50, Sasha Penn. The cast is incredible. You know what I'm saying? Patina, Malcolm, London, Haley. I mean, everybody, man. It's really a fun time, and I think it's just a dope show.
I was going to ask, what is it like? Because I'm invested.
No,
I am
it is a dope
invested.
show. It is a dope show, and it caught me off guard with the whole, thing with you being the father, or might be the father, or may not be the father, because she's telling him, man, he ain't your
Mm-hmm.
Your father dead, his brother in jail. Go
Yeah,
there,
so go
see
talk
him.
to your uncle.
Go talk to your uncle. Yeah, he ain't your. You know what I mean? But you like really persistent, trying to be in his life. You doing you probably shouldn't be doing. Like
Yeah, and this cop, she pissing me off. Your
Yeah.
partner. She pissing me off. She gotta go. She gotta go. I mean, she gotta go. Like, I be so tight. Like,
Yeah, I love that.
nah, it's really, I'm telling you, I'm invested.
Yeah, when I first read the script, Sasha had hit me and they told me what they were doing, and obviously I was a fan of Power, and I was like, oh, okay, this could be something way different. You know what I mean? Because 50 did such a brilliant job of playing Kanan, and he was such a despicable, monstrous, terrible human being. And then it's like, but we all have a starting point.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So
why is he like this?
when you meet this kid and he's like, he's 14,
Yes.
he's just a quirky
And
teenager.
that's what's
That's
killing
right.
me.
You're not born that.
You're not born that.
You're
Like I always
made
say,
into
people
that.
nobody's born racist.
No.
So that's proof that it's a learned behavior.
It's a learned behavior. It's taught.
It's taught. So it's like, so who is
Absolutely.
this Kanan? We know how the story
The how.
ended, but how did he get like
It's
that?
the how,
Yeah.
because I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, how did he get here? Because we see him transitioning.
I like the way it's going because I identify with that. I tell people all the time, like we didn't start this way.
Yeah.
Right. It was between what we were taught in our environment, us adapting and responding to certain things, and being pushed to a certain place. Right. You see his mother kind of pushing it on him. Right.
And then she retracted, but now he's trying to prove himself, and it's just like, okay, because I always think about that, because Kanan is kind of getting on everybody's nerves. Like, I was happy the last episode, like, to see him get it in, but like, he is, you look at it, you just like, dag, like, he's this way, but you got to remember where we met him, and it's like, so is it his family who did this? Is it the streets who did
was
this?
definitely
Like,
his mother.
is it
No,
the
his
mom is
lies?
getting
Is it
his
like,
way.
you know what I mean? It's like, you just started, like, I'm telling you,
You
be
go back
putting.
go back to the very first in the pilot, like the very first episode of Raising Kanan, and this is what got me in. Is that scene where you remember the first image you see of Kanan, he getting beat up in the park, and he run home like mom.
Yeah.
And his mom's in there smoking.
forgot about that.
Smoking the, you know what I mean? And
Right.
see how she like what?
That's right.
Batteries in the sock. We know,
right.
you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And she's like,
That's
take
right.
your ass back outside,
Yeah.
and if
And
you
that's
don't whoop him,
real,
I'm gonna
like,
whoop you. And
I
then,
went through that. Like,
Listen,
that's life.
that's
Like,
real.
my
Let me tell
great
you
grandmother,
something.
I mean, I didn't get beat up, but like, my great grandma, like, anybody mess with you, you put this in your book bag or whatever, you do this, you do, like, my great grandmother was out of
Let
line.
me tell you something. I grew up like that, right? It was like, if you come in here crying,
Yep.
I'm gonna whip your ass.
That was my mother.
Right? My father would find whoever it is that I was fighting or arguing with, bring him down the block,
Yep. Handle your business.
Handle your business.
Same here.
let us fight, win, lose, draw. A kid made me cry in school one day, right? In the bathroom. I forgot what it was. He might have put me in a headlock. I started crying. A friend of mine from my block saw that. He ain't say nothing. He peeped it. He had to be maybe like 8, 9. I went home, was chilling home. He came knocking on my door.
wait, hold on. This is a segment called Stories from N.A. Rock.
Yeah, from N.A. Rock. He came knocking on my door. And my mother went to the door and said, hey, what's going on? And he was like, yeah, I just want to let you know that the boy made your man cry in school today.
Oh my goodness. Now
said,
you
what?
wanted to fight him.
Right.
I'm like,
Mind
what?
your business.
I got really like stepped on behind that, like for real. So I understand that. So when you see that scene about you better go out there and handle your business.
And
come
he's
back
scared
in.
out his mind.
Yeah.
And that's his mother. And it's not just the moms, his uncles, his whole immediate family. This is what they do. So that normalizes things, right? If it's normal to come outside in our era, you remember how the streets were,
right.
crack vials everywhere,
right.
needles, all types of whatever. It's like you don't know you poor until you go somewhere else.
That's right.
When you growing up, like
That's
this
right.
is, yeah,
Normal.
nah, we
You
good.
look at situations now, like the way I am as a parent, I'm like, my kid got a curfew, you gotta be in the bed by a certain time, all this stuff. And I think about it, I'm like, growing up, like I used to be outside with my mom till like 3, 4 in the morning because she outside with her friends. And it's like, back then,
normal.
you
That's
think
right.
that's normal because that's just how it was. But
Right.
it's like, that wasn't normal. Like there's certain things that
You
just
don't
be
realize
like,
normal until you step outside that world, like the
Right.
violence and the drugs. Like,
Yeah.
and like you don't know you really poor yet. Like you getting into it. Like it all feels normal because this is the world that we all exist in.
Right.
that makes perfect sense.
That sounds.
That makes perfect sense though.
Sounds
But
a
that's
little
because I'm a
out there.
sci-fi person. But it makes
she's,
perfect
she's
sense.
so loving
So?
and wants to love so much.
I don't want to, I do.
Love.
She's a
everything.
lover.
She's radiates. She's love.
I don't know. You look a little.
I'm a little rough around the edges, but
on
I'm
the show. I'm just saying, as a
I'm
fan of the
very
show, you look like you might duff somebody with some
I
love.
would.
You duff them with love.
Listen,
Tough love is a
I
thing.
tell people all the time,
Yeah.
I'll go to war for peace.
Oh,
I like that.
I like
Like-
that.
That's a bar.
That's a bar.
Okay,
All right, that's
boys.
the best bar.
That's a bar.
And the thing about that is actually true.
Yeah.
You in order to get peace, sometimes you have to go to war.
That's a bar.
You got to build to destroy.
That might be
you
the
gotta
word
destroy
of the
to
day,
build.
man.
Yeah, that is your best.
My best.
Hands down.
I told him I loved him today, and he acted like
He ignored her.
He ignored me.
I didn't know where she was coming from. You know, because you got to watch it. Like
It's a trauma response.
It's a trauma response, right?
I've been getting bullied so much. Like, it's like,
bullies
look,
you.
I'm like,
Right.
yeah, I'm like a battered woman. Like, for real, you love
Don't
me.
throw stones and hide your hand.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
do that.
battered, man. I'm telling you.
I'm a reciprocator, so at the end
Yeah,
of the day,
okay, listen, man.
I respond.
My God see you. Trust me, he sees you.
So he should know that I don't be
Yeah,
started.
well, whatever. Hey, okay.
He
Like,
was triggered.
for real.
Triggered,
I love it. But your other book.
Yeah, from fatherless to fatherhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to salute you on camera for coming through. When we did
yes.
the documentary
Yes,
Daddy Don't Go.
yes,
Thank you,
yes.
man.
No, that was important, you know, and stuff like that. You know, my son was younger. And when you invited me, I wanted him to, you know, get out there and see that. And, you know, stuff, we got to do that for our kids, especially our sons, black males coming from the urban, you know, in environments, raising our kids, you know, and to not be like us in a certain standpoint. I don't want you to be me. You understand? I want you to be greater than that. So, but that was a dope documentary.
Thank you, man. Yeah, and then that kind of was in that same cycle of from fatherless to fatherhood, and you know, basically, like I said, I grew up without a father, and then I became a father, and I was just like, wow, you know, because when we on the go, we be in like machine mode, and a lot of times as black men, we don't get to sort of download our own traumas or things of that nature. Like we really don't. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think, and I heard somebody say it is like we don't get a day off. Meaning, like it's just like we have to just be everything for everybody.
24/7. And I believe that, you know what I mean? Like I because I've experienced that and still am experiencing it, you know what I mean?
Every day.
But I wanted to you know, one day I came home. This was some years ago. My son was like 2. He's 14 now, so you know, it's that long ago. But came home, had a long day at work. You know what I mean? Washed up, wanted to just have a glass of wine, you know, watch some CNN or something, whatever. And wifey was like, yo, you know, he's still up, you know, go upstairs and play with him. And I'm like, I just worked 16 hours. Like, I'm just, you know, and this is real, you know, and I was like thinking to myself, at least I'm here, you know, and to be honest with you, that messed with me, you know, because it kept echoing in my head. Like, I mean, obviously I love all 3 of my kids and I love my son to pieces and everything like that, but I wanted to understand the origin of that thought. And that's what made me write From Fatherless to Fatherhood. That's where I was like, oh, I need to unpack some for myself.
So,
You know what I mean? To understand where is that even, how do I even have that pass through my mind? You know, it was scary. You know, 'cause like I said, obviously I love my son, but yeah, I did just work all this time. But I don't have what he has. You know what I mean?
Right.
I grew up in a whole different, like, it wasn't no,
but that's
my pops wasn't dead. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the great thing about it, the fact that you didn't have it, but was able to turn things around and then provide it.
Yeah, and that's as I was at first, I wasn't thinking about writing a book. I was just unpacking some stuff that I hadn't really addressed for myself emotionally and mentally since I was a kid. And basically, next thing I know, I found myself on a journey of this. And then it was like, oh, maybe I should like really structure this as a book, because maybe, you know, parts of my story could help inspire someone else or motivate someone else, whether they don't have a kid, whether they had a kid, went astray, whether they had a kid and they there. You know, maybe they could see different aspects of certain things when you know, because when you grow up without your pops, specifically as a black male, when you grow up without your pops, it's like we instantly all cousins.
Because it's equal is not identical.
A
woman cannot do what a man does. A man is entering, a woman is getting entered. It's two different things.
Okay, but for example, in the workforce, and you can give the same example. It's like women were always put down.
Now that's right. But that's more part of white supremacy than it is masculinity. That's more white masculinity than just masculinity as a whole. See, when y'all say toxic masculinity, you're blanketing all men with that. When
no,
really,
just the toxic ones.
Well, do you have one type of mind? Because when I think of the toxic ones, the ones who really present that toxic are white men.
Huh?
Womanizers?
Womanizers.
I mean,
a womanizer is what?
That's a bit of toxic masculinity.
So what's toxic femininity?
There is toxic femininity.
Right. So what is it?
Hold on. Before we get there,
because y'all seem like y'all got this defined, but I'd like to know the definition.
You want to know what a womanizer
I bet y'all ain't got the feminist defined so well.
Define that. A womanizer.
A womanizer is somebody who just, I guess, like abuses women, takes advantage of women, or puts them in these specific lights.
How is that? How you
like the disrespect that a man call a girl, a woman, and all of this stuff.
Right.
But that's toxic. You're demeaning us, but at the same time, you want to love on us.
But if a woman is actually acting like a or a, is that not? And I don't want to get bleak, but is that not like sometimes you got to call a spade a spade?
But you say it as a whole, though. Like you say it as a whole when you.
Just the way you said toxic masculinity, I felt like was as a whole.
They both problematic.
But I can't call all women queens because they're not all queens.
We can't call all men toxic because
or kings.
Toxic. Right, or kings. Like it's all individualistic, right? Or
right.
as the person, but when you speak in music and stuff like that, you be like a bitch did this or a hoe did that because these this or these.
But you're talking specifically about who you're talking about. You know who you're talking.
But when you say where the hoes at, you speaking specifically for who are the hoes. You might think that she a hoe and she's not. You get what I'm saying?
You pretty much know who you're talking.
But why would I be fooled by that? See, Dave Chappelle said, you know, if you dress like a police officer and I come up to you for help and you're like, oh no, I'm not a police officer. You know what I mean? Ridiculous. So if you're dressed like a and I
yeah, but if it's
start talking to you like a and then you're like, oh, I'm not a
hold on.
I'm not a I'm just dressing to
hold on. What do you dress like though? What do you dress like?
You know what they dress like.
But maybe there's a thin line, right? Because you got some women that feel like I should be able to wear this crop top. I should be able to show cleavage.
Is that
a dress code?
It could be because every action has a reaction. Mm-hmm. So yes, ma'am, you can wear whatever you want, but there's gonna be a reaction for what you do.
All right, so I got it.
None of these women have on that I see right now.
But what if a man tries to talk to a woman?
Huh?
A man tries to talk to a woman. Mm-hmm. Nope, and this has happened to me.
Okay.
Like, a man tries to talk to a woman.
And then you don't give him no rap.
Thank you, no rap.
And he disrespects. Right, that's
That's toxic masculinity.
Okay.
You
All right.
bitch. Like I ain't because you
That's
feel-
toxic masculinity.
Yes.
Okay, but
it comes from the thought that
how?
It
Well,
comes from the
I
thought
don't
that,
know, as a woman. I
that
don't know how
everything revolves
often that
around the
happens to
alpha male. That's what the thought comes from. It's like, as long as it works for the alpha male, it is good. Like, it's.
I feel like you reinvented yourself in this day.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, this is a great second act. You know what I mean? I couldn't have predicted this on my best day. You know what I mean? And the fact that it's working for me is even better, and I'm getting more parts. But the thing that I love the most is that I have more time now to do music when I want to.
When you want to.
Not because I have to.
Wow.
And that's where the
That's
pin
very
game got
important,
crazy.
bro. That's important.
Yeah.
When you like you and Redman's relationship, like y'all like this.
Yeah.
How did y'all pull off y'all being like
The
this?
camaraderie?
Yeah, in power.
That was a given right there. Courtney was a very smart lady. There was a scene that I did with Notori, and I mentioned the brother. Just a throwaway line. And I remember her calling me after the first season. She was like, "How would you feel about Redman?" And I was like, "Say less," because I already knew what she was going to say.
That was so dope. When I seen it, I was like, oh, like I be watching it. Like
We love to see y'all together, right?
Yes, I love
Oh
to
my
see y'all
God,
together. I
yeah.
think y'all like the greatest
And it made it
duo.
very comfortable for me on set too. Well, I'm comfortable anyway though. But yeah, and when she brought him in, it was clockwork. I mean, I never seen the crew fan out like that. Really, they were cool about that, but I could tell they were fanning out.
The fact
They
that
was
it
in
was both
the
of
same
y'all.
room.
Yeah, two are amazing together. Like I love to see y'all together.
That dude, man. I mean, the reason why that relationship works, a lot of it has to do with Redman, because in the beginning he was already at Def Jam. He had already had his album out. Here come this upstart youngin, basically damn near looked like him with the afro and shit like that, you know. And
The month of the man.
the month of the man.
The month of the man.
He didn't have to agree to do this.
That was Def Jam's promo.
Kevin Louse.
The month of. Do y'all know what that is? The month of the man. They don't know what it is. The month of the man. Both of y'all was on the promo.
Yep, together.
The month of the man.
Yes, sir. I remember because Biggie and Craig Mack had a similar kind of duo promotion, and it was the Big Mac.
The Big Mac.
The Big Mac. Yeah, and if Redman wouldn't have agreed, you know, to go out on this tour with me, it wouldn't have happened.
Wow.
And there were times where...
Because he didn't have to.
He didn't have to. And there were times where he headlined, and sometimes I would headline, and it was synergy like a motherfucker, you know? And all the promo shit, it was just me and him. It wasn't the crews, none of it. It was just me and him for the promo. It wasn't no tour bus. We had a 15-passenger van. Shit, Wu-Tang had a 15-passenger van. I didn't even see a tour bus till like our second album.
Wow.
I go to Atlantic and APG. I don't know nothing about, like, you go to the studios and they got runners.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew about runners.
Mm-hmm.
So they like, man, we'll go to the store, get whatever you need.
Everything, whatever you need.
Food, and man,
I can get used to this.
I can get used to this because that invited my homie out there. That invited my homie out there was A&R for Atlanta. So he like, I'm gonna put everything on my card. Whatever you need, just go get it. Dude, I'm ordering spaghetti. Skittles.
Spaghetti.
This is my first time having Bossa Nova.
Chicken. A Bossa Nova.
Yeah, this is my
Bossa
first
Nova
time
is
having
good.
Bossa Nova.
Yeah.
Man, spaghetti, Skittles, Gushers,
Chicken.
and everything while I'm running up the tab, but I'm in the studio making music.
Right.
Boom. So we go meet with this dude named Jeffrey B. Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he like the head A&R Atlanta. He was the head A&R at Atlanta at the time. So boom, boom, whatever the case may be. All right. 3 years later, I never speak to him again. Ever. Never see these people ever again. I done ran up their tab and we out.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Never speak to him again. 3 years later, bro, I get a call from my CEO. You know, we lit. We done had meetings with everybody. I know who I want to sign to now at this point. Around my CEO called me like, I got one more person I want you to meet with. I'm like, I'm not trying to meet with nobody else. We already, I know who I want to sign to. We going with them. Nah, you trust me, you gonna like this one. I'm like, all right, bet, whatever. Man, we pull up Sprinter band. Me and my homie, we 15 deep. We lit, love cycle out. talking about? If we finna sign this deal, whoever we finna sign to, we finna sign this deal. We put a Sprinter van. Boom. I walk into the studio, and the dude Jeffrey be going right there. And he like, yo, my CEO like, yo, I want you to meet Jeffrey, the CEO of Capitol Records. I'm like, damn, bro, like, you don't even know. This was like the first I ever like talked to and ever showed that I could make music. I was 17 at this time. We still broke as We got no money. I don't even know. I flew to LA with $500. So I feel like if I never took that step, I probably never for one would have signed the Capitol, and I never would have met the dude who was my CEO.
Things come full circle. That taught you that you gotta take steps. You can't be afraid.
Sacrifices.
That's right.
Sacrifices.
Is there a particular story, particular person, particular rapper, particular artist that is most memorable to you that you wrote about? A story that's like one of your favorites?
That when people ask me this story, I be changing my mind. I'm a Gemini. I change my mind all the time. Oh my God, that's such a hard question. A story
Gotta be something. One of your favorites.
Foxy.
Foxy. Really? Was that is the cover issue?
It was the Broken Silence cover.
Wow.
Yes.
That was what about that issue made you?
Well, she asked for me, and that was at a time when artists weren't allowed to say, I want this writer to do my story, right? So for me, and there were a lot of stories that, were being done behind the scenes where people were, asking for specific writers, but I was not the editor. And like I said, it took me 10 years to get there. And this was a critical time in her career, right? So I did 2 cover stories. I did the China Doll story and I did the Broken Silence cover. And obviously those were controversial stories at the time.
What was it in those stories that made it controversial? I forget.
Well, I think something had happened at Vibe, right? Right before I did the China Doll story, there was like a Vibe cover that came out, and I don't know I can't remember what the exact story was, but it didn't go well. So it was like doing it for the source was kind of like, I guess they were answering that, and that's what artists did back then. You went to one magazine, they did this, I'm gonna go to the next magazine.
That was rap beef back then.
Yeah, the magazine.
Answer the magazines.
Even if I do a story in this magazine, I can't do a story in that magazine. Like, there was all this politics behind the scenes. So, this is so much. Like, there's so many stories just from back then.
Why weren't artists allowed to ask for writers?
Because it would be perceived as like a favor or bias, right? So you can't be impartial. If an artist asks for you, then there must be some sort of relationship here. But the funny thing about this is that nobody ever questioned that. When she asked for me, nobody ever questioned my credibility or whether I was,
in cahoots with her.
Right. But when the case came out later, and it was like, oh, you was dealing with so-and-so and so-and-so. Everybody was like, oh, you can't be, as a woman, like, you can't be impartial to this. The case that I filed against the source. So,
right.
So this is a long story.
Oh, yeah. Right, okay.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I'm like, I want to get into
it.
it.
The book is out, straight from the source. The book came out like years ago, but I wrote about all of that in my book.
Right.
But as a woman, that was done like before Me Too. Like I found
you was like one of the first Me Too's.
Before Me Too, there wasn't
before
a lot
me, it wasn't even on Me Too back then.
There wasn't people like, we support you. It was a lot of like, you a hoe. Like, it was real crazy.
Wow.
It was real crazy back then. And as a woman, for me to do that, that was what was groundbreaking about it.
That was like against like Dave Mays.
Right, Dave and Ray.
Right.
Yeah. I've talked to Ray about it like years later.
Yeah, cool.
Yep, absolutely. Because we've been able to, first of all, it was so long ago. You know what I'm saying? And I know what happened. They know what happened. But, there's a lot of other facts that have come out. Like, people do interviews. They say little things. I just try to move on from it. Because that was so long ago. It's done. That case happened in 2006. 2006.
That's ancient history.
And I was pregnant when I went through that case. And they were doing that to me. I was pregnant with my youngest daughter. And they were like, my face was on the cover of the newspaper. Like, they had all types of rappers.
remember that.
Like, it was crazy. And
I remember that.
Yeah, but you can't do that today. Today, you can't do that. You can't, if a woman says, you know, this happened to me, you can't bring up her past nowadays. You can't do. You're going to get me too, right?
Get handled.
Right. It's like if somebody says, oh, I was raped, and then you be like, yeah, but last night at the club, you had on booty shorts.
Right.
Like, you can't do that.
Right.
But with my case, when I did that, when I filed it, that's what happened. Like, the backlash was like, well, you know, she was dealing with some people. It was like, what that got to do with what I'm talking about right now? But this, we were so far, you know what I'm saying?
Feel that way about themselves.
Cool, and if they feel that way, we both feel that way about each other. Now we can either powwow and kick it and come together and figure out some power moves, or we can't. It's just that simple. Listen, my philosophy is this: if I fuck with you, you fuck with me, we like that, I reward you. I'm not buying you though.
I feel like there's a point here where I feel like there's certain girls where you do feel like, oh, let me trick on her, let me get her this, let me, you know, that's the lifestyle that she lives, da da da. And then there's some people who's like, well, I could fuck her for free. And I think that's why some girls find that being the value. Like, no, you got to spend money on me first, because there are girls who literally get for free and get played. So I guess
there are girls who do all of that and they still get played.
It's
so,
true,
but what I have a
Birkin.
question though.
I guess that's the.
What is the value if a woman, like you said, you respect the fact if a girl be like, oh well, you gotta buy me a Birkin and all this stuff. But what is the value of somebody buying you a bag because it costs money?
No,
like what value do you put on yourself asking for a watch, asking for a bag, asking for these things? Like where's the value come in there?
The value is that I feel like there are more men who can offer nothing than men who can offer those high level ticket items. And though, you know, the people that can offer those high level ticket items, most likely they come with ambition, they come with drive, because in order for you to be able to even get that for somebody else, you have to be able to, like, you know, stand on that yourself. You get it? Like, as a man, or as a woman, whoever, like whatever. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, but
so there's more like dusties, you know what I mean? So if you're a woman who doesn't require anything to give access to have access to you, you know, there are more people who can have access to you.
So
like,
basically, hold on. So basically, no, I respect it. I respect heaven. I was in my mode. When I'm saying mode, I'm talking about my shirt was open. I was in mode.
You was in your element.
Yes, sweating, drinks, going back, right? Speaking to anybody that wanted to talk to me. Anybody, yo, what up?
This is
everything. I'm saluting. I'm piecing.
And you're friendly like
I'm fisting. Everything. I'm doing everything. To everybody. Like, what? I love everybody. And then what happened was, Blueface.
I saw that.
I seen him walking. I didn't understand why he was walking for.
I saw that too.
So I jumped up.
Down the runway.
I didn't know it was a runway.
I
didn't know it was a fashion show.
Fashion show.
That's what I did. But I was out of
people to
my
clear
mind.
the runway so that models would start walking down the
I
runway.
saw Blueface walking, and I said, "Oh, this is Blueface. What's going on?"
That was the seventh model that walked down the runway after you proceeded to walk on the runway yourself.
You did?
And do your own
Stop!
runway. Then I had to go get you up the runway so they could finish.
I saw that yesterday. I didn't know it was. I just saw that footage yesterday. So what happened? I see.
This is all Ricky for, because this is not my job, Ricky.
No, seriously. That's Ricky's job.
This is crazy.
I saw Blueface. I said, "Hey, what's going on? What's happening?" And he said, "Yo, what up? What's going on?" And we met his girl. I said, "Hey, you see Capo? Me Capo." It was a piece of it. Was all good. And then music was playing, and then I just saw somebody with a mic. And they just turned the music off, and it was just like this guy with a mic.
And you felt the need to say something.
And I felt offended because they turned the music up. It turned my vibe off. And what I'm telling you is this: I was not in my right state of mind.
He was not hosting that night.
Right.
He was not on the flyer.
You was not on the flyer.
This is not a Lobby Boys event.
It's not a Lobby Boys event. You shouldn't even have the mic.
Right, but I felt like I wanted to take the mic because he didn't need to be on the mic. That's what I felt like. And I said,
your feelings.
Yeah, I was in my because I wanted to hear more music. And like, what you doing with this mic?
It's your baby.
Give me this mic. I want to hear more music. Yo, what's happening? Who is this dude? We don't know him.
Oh
Everybody
my God.
We don't know him. Everybody knew him though.
I didn't know him though.
We didn't know him though, but everybody knew it was their event.
Yeah, that's why
It was their event. Lobby boys in the building. Jim Jones, Maino in the building. Put the music on. Oh my God.
You was ready to do a concert?
God, no, I wasn't. I was ready. I put the music back on. I want to get back to partying. But what happened was, I didn't realize that I was standing in the middle of a mist of 355-pound security guards.
But then I seen a young lady in your face.
And then what happened was, so I'm standing there running my mouth. I don't give a who this is. I don't care nothing about who this is. What's happening? Right? And then I'm thinking that the security and everybody with us, they with him. Right? And they stand there looking, but Capo was like this, on point. Like, man, listen, it's just me and my man. We're going to have to go out. Right? And then I see a young lady approach me. And the young lady was talking. But I couldn't hear nothing because it was like having a TV on, but you can't hear the words.
She was sticking up for the.
Right, I couldn't.
You told him who the fuck is this? She was sticking up for him.
Right, but I didn't understand what was happening.
That was the that is the best thing that could have happened.
Right, I didn't know who it was until I woke up in the morning. I fell asleep downstairs. I woke up the next morning like, oh, what happened? I seen I was on the block. And it was like I was into it with these people that I didn't even know.
You wasn't even paying attention.
No, I didn't know what it was.
Wait, but as his friend, right? So like, cause sometimes I do wrangling. I know it. So you didn't see it like leading up, like, all right, this is getting to drunk Maino. Y'all need like a code word.
It ain't no code word when it's that gone.
And sometimes you don't realize it until you realize it. Especially with him.
Whoa, you got this.
It's your birthday though, so on your birthday, man. What could I do? I just had to let him live.
Could have been worse though. Could have been worse.
But it wasn't, and we got out.
And that's why I said, thank God that things played out the way it played out. Because imagine if you was conscious of what was going on.
If I was conscious of what was going on, I would have never done that. Okay, I would have sat there and enjoyed the moment like everybody else. I would have never. My shirt probably wouldn't have been open. All right, I would have sat there and enjoyed the moment. Watch the fashion show and just, sip my drink.
Prime example of going up, not coming down.
Hey, sometimes you gotta live it. Sometimes we just too caught in the moment.
You know it's all the time.
Wow.
It is what it is.
I feel like this is an intervention.
It's not an intervention because guess why? You know why?
Why?
You know why?
Why?
I embrace who I am and I accept it. I know my.
Yeah, but that's not who you are. You don't remember it.
No, I just didn't remember it, but I know who I am though. I know I did it. I know I did it. And I had a conversation with him. I just told him, I said, listen, it wasn't personal. It wasn't personal. I didn't know who you were, so it couldn't have been personal. We never met.
So you apologize?
No, I never apologize. I don't use those words. Be very careful because I don't think some of that is sincere. Listen, the thing is this. When people do things and apologize, it's just because they're doing it because it's like some backlash. And I'm not apologizing. But I'm giving you some understanding, right? It wasn't personal, bro. I was having a hell of a night.
It was my birthday.
That's exactly what I said. I was having a hell of a night. It was one of those nights. You could have been anybody.
Sure could.
And he understood.
Because you knew it wasn't personal. We didn't know each other. So, it is what it is.
If it was Mike Tyson, would you have took the mic from Mike?
In that state of mind, I might have, but the results might have been different. I might have woke up in the hospital. It's crazy, and it wasn't because I was trying to be tough. I was just.
You was there.
I was in a free spirit, man. I was in the moment. I was like, man, we only gonna live this like one time. Let's live it. Let's push it to the limit. Let's go to the moon. I think what me and Capo coming together to do the Lobby Boys, and then organically, having Fab there, having the East there, and us building our relationship as men, as our friendship, it just started to, morph into this thing of ours.
And so it isn't just us, it's everybody.
Yeah.
We got Fabio, I did Gangsta Grills, and I damn near put almost all the young artists.
Yes, New York, right.
starting to pop right now on the project. So
I just think it's so dope that y'all showing your friendships. You know, not just the business side. Like y'all really outside, like hanging with each other
and celebrating, not just being
celebrating,
hard,
right?
And having my back,
right?
And having my back,
and having
see
your
the
back.
footage. No, you don't regret it.
I saw
And
the
my back.
footage. Yes, and,
I mean,
and you don't see that a lot. You see
and my back.
like you know.
I can't say this. We do have a brotherhood. Me, Maine, Fab, and Dave. We definitely have a unique brotherhood. I have a lot of great rapport with a lot of other artists that makes this thing work. But as far as the brotherhood, person that in this game that I know that if I'm not there, they talking well about me and will defend it. Like I count on them for doing that. You know what I mean? There's a few other people too, but as far as what people see from people of influence that's from New York have been popping, our brotherhood is so dope. Because I don't have no quote unquote real brothers. I have a lot of brothers that I've met along my journey in life. And this is very dope for all the fake that goes on within this hip hop culture, all the bullshit, all the capping, all the stabbing in the back. It's dope to know I got some solid individuals that I can count on, bounce ideas off of. If we're going to go head up, it's whatever it is. It's going. You dig?
Before we get out of here, right? You want to bring bread with us. We got some food. I want you to eat before you leave. Go. You
Not a salami and cheese sandwich.
Yeah, definitely. You like salami?
You ain't got no spice here?
No, and I don't eat seafood.
This is top of the...
I would say so. Well,
here we go.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
This is crazy.
Red velvet